Okay.
Hi, I'm Michael Dawson, and today I'm going to be presenting on relative pronouns. They're easy to confuse, but they greatly help in developing ideas. But first, I have to kind of clarify what a pronoun is and the rules of pronouns. And then I'll give the context of relative pronouns. And then I'll give a little bit of history of pronouns too. But first, the purpose of pronouns. After so many times of referring to things, it's helpful to have a pronoun in its place. As in this meme that talks about threads over and over and over. But yes. Okay, so the pronoun antecedent agreement. Time for a little refresher. Antecedent actually means comes before, and its Latin stem is ante, before, and cedere, which is to yield, or cedere, yeah. But it implies a previous understanding of the corresponding noun, the antecedent, or the context that it's referring to. The pronoun will also clearly adhere to the noun's number, case, and reference. Yeah, referring to appropriately. So if the antecedent doesn't agree or exist, the pronoun refers to something incompletely. As in this meme. What? Okay, so pronoun rules. I'll quickly go over these. The singular subject. The pronoun should reflect a singular case of the noun. I, she, he. Yeah. Okay, then plural subject. The plural pronoun still uses the case of the noun, they and their. Then objects. When the pronoun's antecedent is an object, the object form of the pronoun has to be used. As in me, him, her, us. And also possessive pronouns should relate to the subject's case. My, mine, your, yours, their, theirs. But the last type of pronoun is the one that I'm going to spend the most time on, relative pronouns. These have two instances in which need distinction, restrictive clauses and non-restrictive clauses. The clause is specific in description in a restrictive case because it's restrictive. It's telling you exactly what's going on. And an example would be Abco Incorporated sold a product that made millions. So the word that refers to a product, but that has a description after it, and it's made millions. So it's referring to a product that made millions. It's restrictive in its intent. In a non-restrictive clause, the clause modifies a noun while referring to a distinctive and ambiguous information stated. So the pronoun does not need to further clarify or identify the antecedent. Also, the pronoun suggested, which is led by a comma. As in this example, Abco Incorporated ended its first bankruptcy, comma, which it had filed in 1997. So the phrase Abco ended its first bankruptcy. There's only one first bankruptcy, so it does not need further explanation into describing which bankruptcy it's referring to. So the pronoun which does not have to be restrictive in nature. Now time for how all this came to be and where it originated. The that which grammatical dilemma started in 1906 when this guy put it down on paper in the King's English. And these two brothers, Henry and Francis, they wrote down that which should be used strictly for non-restrictive clauses, because the word that, it could be overused so easily, and oftentimes you see them back to back, that, and a lot of cases it can get really, really misunderstood and confuse the reader. But in this also in this book, he also mentioned a funny quote. Some there are who follow this principle now, but it would be idle to pretend that it is the practice of either of most or of the best writers. That passage is a little bit confusing because it's like not given this context really, but yeah. Here's my works cited, and I got this book from C. Memeth. Yeah, it inspired this whole clarification of this pronoun antecedent agreement type of dilemma. Always remember. And that's my presentation. Any questions?
When do you use, just quick, I don't really see whom used much at all.
Because it's an object.
Oh, okay.
Kind of.
Alright.
Yeah. I could have clarified that more in the pronoun rules. Possessive, not possessive, the objects. But I felt like that would be a little bit too much background into pronouns rather than focusing on relative pronouns.
Okay.
Any other questions?